Okay, we're going to get started. So just give me a little second here. I'm going to try to get my page up here. So just hold on for just a second here. I'm having just a little bit of technical difficulties getting all of the stuff out here. Bear with me. I must tell you that Terry Gerald's my assistant partner, has been with me 18 years, is snowed in her home, so I am trying to get my slides up here. So hold on for just a second. Please bear with me just a second. Bear with me, folks, if you would. You can just hold on for a second. Again, I apologize. This is very embarrassing here. Hold on just a second here. Okay, we're getting this thing rolling here now. There we go. I think everyone should be able to see this now, I hope. The personal pension plan, a lighthouse in a foggy world, and I'm technologically challenged. Good morning, this is Ray Olson, founder and CEO of the Olson Group here in Indianapolis, Indiana, with another office in Chicago, Illinois. And for people that have been calling Nick that runs our Chicago office, as you've noticed, Chicago is really snowed in. I noticed we still have, let me see here. I think we've got you now. Excuse me again. Today we're going to talk about the personal pension plan, which is a lighthouse in a foggy financial world. Well, when we looked for a phrase to illustrate or to talk about this concept, the personal pension plan was kind of a natural. And I have to tell you that over the 30-some years that I've been in this business, the personal pension plan is not something new. It's not just a new word that or phrase that I've made up. I wish I had. But people have talked about having your own personal pension plan for years and years and years. And what we wanted to do is to not just give you a few words to say or a few trick phrases or closes. We wanted to provide you with a complete turnkey system, marketing plan, and approach to help you do a better job for your client, to really satisfy needs that they have, but to give you a platform to march into this decade and build what I think could be the most exciting practice that you have ever had. So the personal pension plan is the lighthouse in a foggy financial world. Okay, hold on here just a second. Okay, boy, this is terrible. What is the personal pension plan? Okay, the personal pension plan is where we are going to take a look at all the available assets that a person has, and we're going to try to satisfy what we believe is the greatest need of pre-retirees, those being boomers, and people in retirement plans in retirement today. This is not a qualified plan. There are no fancy forms to fill out, no fees to file, or no tax records to be handled at the end of the year, unlike qualified pension plans, 401ks, IRAs, SEPs, or things like that. Who is this market that we're going after? The personal pension plan is going to go after the boomers, those that are pre-retired, and the boomers that are now retired. And everything's been written about the boomers, especially in the last 30 days. It seems like twice a week in the USA Today, there is a topic. There's an article on the baby boomers and the challenges that are facing them. I'm one of those baby boomers. I'm still in the pre-retired category, but the boomers that are retired, if you don't think this is a big market, think about this. There is someone turning 65 every 8 seconds. 10,000 people a day. And the third market is the silent generation. You may wonder why I'm not mentioning the greatest generation. Well, unfortunately, the greatest generation, they're dying off very rapidly. The silent generation are those people really between boomers and the greatest generation. The oldest of the silent generation went to World War II when they were 17 years old. The rest of them were in the Korean War. They were all somewhat part of this big renaissance caused by the greatest generation with the building of suburbs, the factories, manufacturing growth, refrigerators in every home, washers and dryers, and also the people that decided they were going to change America and really build us into the powerhouse that we are today and will continue to be. But the question that I need to ask you, and I want you to think about, will the decision-making process differ between these groups, between the pre-retirees, those boomers not yet retired, the boomers that are just now starting to retire, and the silent generation? The answer is a resounding yes, and you must know how to deal with these people differently. The baby boomers, or the greatest generation, were such a trusting generation. My folks in their 80s, way in their 80s, they want to trust everyone. And a good handshake was as good as a signed deal. But now with the flow of information moving so quickly, you have to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and you are offering your people something that they really need and want. And be prepared to have them check you out. Yes, so credibility marketing becomes another big part of this program. And that's why it's very important, I think, for you to take a look at your website, how you drip market, how you represent yourself, what you hand out. If you're doing seminars and workshops, how are you doing them? Are you taking into consideration that many still want a flip chart? Many insist on a PowerPoint. Are you supposed to blend? Speaking of blending, this is where I want to add a part of this presentation. I am not asking you to quit doing what you're doing because all the boomers are not going to be working with us today, but we have to make sure that we reach all of these markets. Well, how do you reach them? Keep the old ways that are tried and true and start thinking of something new. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today during this 45-minute presentation. As we're going through this presentation, you're going to see a lot of forms. You're going to see some pictures of brochures that we've created, direct mail pieces, and it's hard to do justice to these pieces on the PowerPoint. But I'm going to tell you that the information that we'll be giving you to show your clients is nothing short of first class. You know, having been involved in purchasing 7 life insurance companies in America and being president of the 2 that we kept vibrant, and many of you know these carriers, the largest one, Standard Life of Indiana. We bought that company when there was approximately $70 billion in assets. And when I left, it was about 70 million. We grew it to 1.6 billion. And I did the same with greater to use what you got. And we just can't spend down your paycheck. Because remember, as an aside, Jonathan Clements, that's always written in the Wall Street Journal, one of the great guys on retirement income, through his Monte Carlo simulations, prior to the fall that we had, it must fully understand what we are helping them accomplish, the financial vehicle that we're using, whether it's an index annuity, a MIGA, a SPIA, or a life insurance policy. The product is the personal pension plan. And clarity, that's what the client wants. Break it down and don't speak in industry terms. I'm in a guaranteed paycheck for life business. Now, how are we going to find out what this client needs, has? How do we get down to those numbers? How do we take a look at the guaranteed paychecks? This is one of the worksheets that we use. And you notice we're using the lighthouse on everything because that lighthouse is a beacon. And look at the definition of that lighthouse. You know, it's kept people off those rocks forever. It helped ships navigate into harbors and into ports, kept them out of harm's way. It was that beacon of light. That's what the personal pension plan is. We've got to keep them away from those rocks, those reefs. We've got to help them get into that steady port, into that harbor, into that marina. And you, through the personal pension plan, you are that lighthouse. Well, we're going to break down monthly expenses, and we're going to take a look at those. We're going to look at the monthly discretionary and essential, guaranteed monthly income streams that they have now, and then we're going to have to look at filling the gap. What current assets can be used to help supplement your retirement income? We're going to ask some key questions. I think some very key questions. We need to ask the prospect and your current client, because it doesn't matter how recently you did business with that person. Retirement planning is accumulating the money. Retirement income is the plan to get it out and to use it. And retirement planning maintenance is very important. Not unlike your car, you don't just buy your car and never change the oil and rotate the tires. Why would you do that with your personal pension plan? Why would you do that with your retirement plan? And that's what you have to tell your client, and then you've got to ask them, what do you want your money to do for you while you're alive? What do you want your money to do for you? Do we ever ask them that question? What do you want your money to do for you when you die? Do you have any legacy needs? This will give us direction, Mr., Mrs. Prospect, client, and the products that we choose. That's why I'm asking you these questions, and let them talk. 2 ears, 1 mouth, do twice as much listening. Our goals with the prospect, and we want to let the client know, the prospect know, our goals are determining the amount of essential expenses that you have. You know, those are your basic expenses. For example, food, housing, etc. We must cover this as it is a part of your retirement paycheck. Paycheck. If there's a shortfall, job number 1 is to fill the gap. Now we're going to look at your discretionary income needs, vacations, extras, entertainment, golf, boating, arts, theater. In other words, Mr., Mrs. Prospect, your play check. Yes, your play check. As an aside, I went to a great seminar the other day, sponsored by the Society of Financial Service Professionals, and they had a guy who was marketing vice president with New York Life. And he likes to ask this question when he talks about play check. He asks his guys and girls before they retire, let me ask you this, what day of the week is it that when you're working, you go out and you run your errands, you go to the movies, you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot, you go to the grocery store, you go buy your wine, you go do the extra things, you go out for dinner at a nice restaurant, you do things. What's the day of the week when you do that mostly? And everybody answers Saturday. Mr. Prospect, don't forget that when you retire, every day is Saturday. So we have to have a good plan for your finances. And legacy needs and goals. I repeat it again. What do you want to do for you? What do you want your money to do for you when you die? Who do you want it to go to, and how do you want it to go there? When do you want it to go there? We can help with all of those things. Mr. Prospect, the 65-year-old male, has an average life expectancy of age 85. Mrs. Prospect, a 65-year-old female, has an average life expectancy of 88. Averages are just what they say they are. On average, 50% die earlier and 50% live longer. Think about that. Yeah, 85 or 88, that's the average. But 50% are going to die earlier and 50% are going to live longer. How do you know where you're going to fit in? How do you know where your spouse is going to fit in? A 65-year-old married couple has a 50-50 chance that one of them, 92, you can no longer plan to life expectancy. You must plan to live to age 100. Isn't this why we see so many life insurance policies today that are guaranteed to 100, 110, 120, 130 to those ages? Because people are living that long. Every day is a Saturday. They need their paychecks. They need their playchecks. They have to have emergency money. They have to have money to cover those rising health care costs. They must. And if your client has money, if they're lucky enough to have a decent amount of money, will they be forced to pay higher taxes because of their success a couple years from now to pay for the financial situation that America's in? And I'm not politicizing, but someday we got to pay the piper. And how will that be done? Take advantage of the tax advantage status of our products. Now, when you go out and talk to these people, you have to have some tools. You have to have tools of the trade and not just the same kind of stuff that we're getting from everybody else or the company stuff that's branded with ABC Life or whatever. So what we've done is we truly do have tools of the trade for you. And make sure. The first thing we have is the Personal Pension Plan Direct Mail piece. I've been working on this piece with Alan Kramer, the founder and the owner of Kramer Direct, one of the leading and most prominent direct mail firms in the country with one of the best lists. And what we decided is, how would we go after this market? How do we make it a market that's much different than the normal letters that go out with a kickback card that your client signs, puts their address and phone number and date of birth on it without an envelope to send back? So every people that are working with us, we are willing to do some co-oping on the cost to experiment with this. Now, what about income planning, fact finders, and customized suite of client brochures? If you can see below, I know that they're not very large. The first piece we're showing is the Personal Pension Plan with the lighthouse and the beacon. That is a 4-page, beautiful, glossy piece, which, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't take any chances. If you were up late the night before and you had an early morning appointment and did not know what you're going to say, or you had lip lock, got tongue-tied, or brain freeze, you could take this brochure and read it word for word all the way through. It even has stopping points to ask your client questions. It has the let's get started. The fact finders, I have 2 different ones. We take into account inflation every 5 years. You even have the factors below to multiply the income that they need, so this is very, very simple. The brochures are not customized with an Olson Group logo or name or an insurance company. They're blank. We've made them for you. If you want to customize them, if you want your logo, you want to brand them, let me know. We'll have our printer do them, or you can take the piece, we'll shoot it to you if you're working with us. Take it to your printer. You talk about credibility marketing. You talk about spicing up your seminars, workshops. The Personal Pension Plan, they can relate. We also have a beautiful trifold that can be used as a pre-mailer prior to the appointment. It's cute. I'm going to show you a few pictures. It takes them back down memory lane. We go back through and ask them questions, and we laugh about why we all don't have more money, why we haven't saved all the money we needed, because there was never a good time. Now, I've done this for months. Then we'll give you the free software. And then we will pay for the webinars, for the lessons, to have you really use it. Now, what about an all-expense-paid marketing and sales meeting in Los Angeles, California? This is just one of the deals. Retirement planning seminars where no one from these IMOs can attend, no management staff, not us. You'll be there with 80 to 100 discount for our people. Nothing hidden. We pay $1,000 tuition to get you out there. And that covers your room, your board, your meals, all your supplies and everything. And then what we do, all you have to do is very little production with us, and we're going to cover your plane fare as well. This is one of the best training meetings that I've seen. That's March 2nd. But they're the night of March 2nd, meetings the 3rd, and come back on the afternoon of the 4th. And we'll talk more about that. Sales presentations that explain guaranteed lifetime withdrawal benefit riders in terms that your clients easily understand. Case preparation support with your own case managers. Let us use that software, work with you. You fill out the data, and then let us tweak it and change it. Eventually, you'll have your own software doing that at your own desk. Let us do that. Reduce coaching and consultation fees with one of America's most critically acclaimed coach mentors, Max Volka. If you want to have individual training on a weekly or monthly basis with Max, believe me, well worth it. Many of you have seen Max at our incentive meetings or have attended one of his webinars. And anyone that is in our personal pension plan division, which doesn't mean you have to stop everything else that you're doing, but if you're working the personal pension plan, we're paying Max to do a seminar once a quarter, a webinar for all of you to help keep you on track. This is just a little bit of what we're doing. And I'm here to tell you that this, I'm very proud to say, these are worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Yep, you can get all your brochures online if you just want to print them off. If you're doing business with us, let us give you the glossies of the trifolds, the presentation, the 4-pagers, the fact finders. Let us do that. I want to spend the money. Well, when we take a look at some of these tools, this is how that personal pension plan opens up. And again, as I said, it's story time. We sell by telling stories. Most people marvel at the lighthouse, a simple structure that's played such a big role in navigating the sea. The lighthouse was designed to emit a beacon of light as an aid for ships at sea or on inland waterways. Lighthouses have marked dangerous coastlines and provided safe entry into harbors. The personal pension plan does much the same regarding retirement income. It helps avoid the dangerous financial reefs and the turmoil and destruction that can follow. Another piece that we like to warm things up, this is the trifold. I thought I had plenty of time to save for retirement. I just didn't think time would fly by so fast. This is the icebreaker. We all need an icebreaker, right? So we're going to go through, remember, we're talking to people today that are 60 to 80. So let's go back. Remember we said that at age 25? Hey, we can't save for retirement now. We just got out of school, have student loans to pay off. Hey, we deserve a little fun. Plus, we'll have good pensions. What about this one, age 35? That would have been about 1980. Take a look at the 80s hair. Love the hair. My wife had the hair. Loved the big hair in the 80s. We can't put away another nickel now. Growing family, private schools, blah, blah, blah. Age 45. Save for retirement. Retirement, are you kidding? Reminds me of that Jim Mora when he was a coach of the Colts. Playoffs. We can't now. We're putting kids through college. But you know, when they're graduating, when they graduate, it'll be like a pay raise. Then I can do it. 55, I know we should be saving now, but things just didn't work out like I thought they were. You know, we had money in tech stocks. What happened? Age 65, where did the years go? We thought we'd have plenty of time and extra money to save for retirement. We weren't really worried because our 401ks and our tech stocks were flying off the charts. Then the bottom fell out of the market. What can we do now? We don't have a lot of extra cash flow. Is there anything we can do to obtain more retirement income? Our Social Security, our pensions, and 401ks just won't be enough, and we can't afford to take risks. What's the answer? The answer is the personal pension plan, Mr. and Mrs. Client. Let me show you this. Then we take out the brochure. Guys and girls on the line, let me help you. Let me help you ease into this, because this is a page out of one of the brochures. We're going to ask that client, and we're going to tell them, let's take it step by step, Mr. Client. What type of lifestyle do you want to maintain during retirement? You take your note sheet, start writing. And remember, your note sheet's going to have the lighthouse on it. What life income's available to support that lifestyle? Let's gather the data. What amount of essential and discretionary income do you need? Let's break those two down. Also, what financial lifeboats are available to sustain your lifestyle should the unforeseen occur? Finally, how much do you need and when do you need it? That's right, Mr. Client. I'm not giving you some wishes, some hopes, some promises, might be, could be. No, not a 90% chance. They're guaranteed. Folks, this is strong. We have an unbelievable niche. And to quote a guy I heard say an old saying, you only get rich when you have a unique niche. And we have that niche today. The back page, as you notice, the lighthouse is there. The sun's starting to shine. They're sitting on those rocks, and they're looking at a map. We took them into the harbor, didn't we? They didn't wreck. We're going to talk about what types of annuities can be used. We're not hiding a darn thing. When boomers and retirees are asked, how long do you want this income to last? They usually say forever. When they ask the advisor, why are you using annuities to accomplish these goals? The answer is the theme song for the James Bond 1971 film of the same name. Diamonds are forever, and so are annuities. Let's see what the personal pension plan can do for you. Now, as you're thinking about this, you're thinking about why would I put in the 1971 movie? Think of who we're dealing with. Think of the big hair in the 80s. Think about you with that station wagon they were in, that Caprice Estate wagon. Think about dropping your first kid off to college if you're of age. We're going to take them down memory lane. They remember all those things that you were saying to them. And they remember James Bond. They remember the song Diamonds Are Forever, and so are annuities. We are in the guaranteed business. These tools, this is the one page out of the personal pension plan. You notice up here, personal pension plan. This says prepared by the Olson Group. It will be your name. This breaks it into 6 different unique buckets or ladders. And it even takes care of, in this final bucket over here, it talks about what do you want your money to do for you when you die? We're generating life cases that are off the charts. Because what we'll do with one of these silos, we may put a SPIA in there. And we may have that SPIA pay for the life premium. And that could be a $10,000 premium. The premiums that are coming up like crazy, when we ask that client, what are you going to do about the lost Social Security check? And they say, what are you talking about? Well, you know, when one of you die, you lose one of the checks. I see, Harry, you're getting $1,800. Mary, you're getting $9. One of you die, you're going to lose the $900. Don't tell me you won't need it. House payment's the same. You only have one car. That stays the same. Property tax the same. What? Harry is out, he's a clothes hound or something? He's out spending $1,000 a month on clothes? I don't think so. Do you think the cost of medicine is going to go up? Depend on it. Do you think your med sup will go up? You better believe it. Will there be inflation? Absolutely. So let's buy a little life insurance policy on each of you so that upon death we'll make sure that the exact amount, that death benefit, will be the exact amount that we need based on today's numbers to give you a SPIA to match that Social Security check. And on top of that, what do you do with the other policy? Because we've got to buy 2. We don't know who's going to go first. Well, you can just take it, cash it in, take the cash value, and or you can make the kids or the grandkids, the church, the university, the synagogue, the charity, the beneficiary. These things are beautiful. They do not mention company names. We wanted to do that for suitability purposes. But we also have, which I don't think we're showing on here, we're going to probably use maybe 2 or 3 different companies. And it will show you which companies, based on the information we load in there on a monthly basis, will give your client the best return if they want money today, money in 3 years, money in 5 years, money in 10, money in 14. Many of you know one of the companies who Altusure, we're going to triple the income account value in 14 years. And then we also have another company here with Forethought with a 25% first-year bonus. If you need cash in years 1, 2, or 3, boom, home run out of the park there. So we use many different carriers. We're going to show you, and then you can determine whether or not you want to show your client. I talked to you about the other form that we're going to use as part of the fact finder. Number of years to retirement, inflation factor of 3%, 4%, 5%. Let's don't make this hard. Let's make it simple. Take the amount of money, $1,000 a month they need extra. Let's take it times 1.16 if they figure 3% and 5%, or 1.22 if they figure 4%, or 1.28. Real simple. You know, math was not always my strongest suit. I like to make it real simple. Now, they're going to remember looking at this if they were about 20, 25 years old, 1970. What about the hair? Guys and girls, I'm sorry to tell you, looks like me in my wedding picture minus the glasses. Good pants. They were great. Nice shoes and socks. How do you get started and what's in it for you? How do we take your clients down memory lane? What we're going to do is we are going to help you, and this is what's in it for you, get clients instead of customers. We're going to help you have credibility when you are the go-to person. Let me tell you, referred leads on this type of an approach, tremendous. Larger case size. Our case size, huge with this. Why is the Olson Group doing this? As we start to wrap it up, as we're approaching 45 minutes, I'll tell you why. We are big investors. We are betting on you. This isn't like going to Las Vegas, because you, the personal pension plan, and the Olson Group, this is the closest thing to a sure bet. It is a sure bet. We know how to do this. Our training material, our DVDs, I've tried to think about everything that I've done. I look back at books and guys and names of people that you know, guys that I brought in as career agents that became top of the table. And we all talk about how we still stick to basics. We have a plan. The only people that don't have plans and the only people that wing it are sort of average people. Now, I'm not saying you got to start over. It's like my commentary I wrote this week in the Olson Group. Look at this as going to the golf pro for lessons. You don't want to start over. You want to get rid of the slice. You'll give up some yardage. You can hit it down the middle. It's less work. It's more fun, more enjoyable. You got a better score. Same thing here. We're just going to tweak your game. Are we asking you to give up everything else that you're doing? Absolutely not. How do you know this is going to work? We know it works. We see it working out there today. People, if you need more evidence, you've got to look at our website. You're going to have to trust me. You're going to have to trust the Olson Group, or you're going to have to trust yourself, because we have a staff that is ready, willing, and able to work with you. And this staff has a lot of time in the business. Case managers looking to work with you, and maybe this is why agents, advisors, and attorneys from coast to coast refer to us as a different experience. And most of you know that marketing, research, and education, it is our hallmark. You notice on here, too, in the middle, on that top picture, we have Dale Krause, JD, LLM, one of the finest attorneys in America, the king of Medicaid annuities, probably the foremost expert in Medicaid planning. The Olson Group and Krause Financial have a strategic alliance. Next Wednesday, we're doing a 45-minute presentation, Dale is, on Medicaid planning, today and tomorrow. How does it work? Make sure you check for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm right at that mark. I'm losing my voice. It's a snowy day. I'm looking here. We have set a record. This is the largest webinar, most attended webinar we have ever done. And it's not because you wanted to hear me or my voice. Believe me, I understand that. You know, and I know, and your clients and prospects know that retirement income. Today, Jim and Joe are here standing by to take your calls. Give us a call. The personal pension plan, an idea whose time has come again. Thanks for listening. Good luck. We look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, good selling.